Welcome everybody to Intensity Broadcasting's live coverage of the SESRA Dirt Season 3 here from Fairbury Speedway. My name's Josh Hall, and you're watching here live on Intensity Broadcasting on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, also on SESRA's Facebook page and the E-Racing TV app. So we do appreciate everybody coming out and joining us here tonight as we are 2 races away from crowning a champion here in the SESRA. And right now, as you can see at the top of the board, Dale Ward is your current fastest car. Ran a 12:21. Currently sitting in the pits. Got Jeffrey Ward sitting in second right now in the speed charts. I apologize, I do not have any points coming into this race. I do know there is a tight battle going on right now between Scott Fritz and Jeffrey West and Dale Ward, so it's really anybody's ball game right now, as we're seeing these guys really running the high side around this track right now. It seems like the right up against the wall seems to be the place to be. I've seen a couple guys kind of get down towards the bottom and just not able to make it stick down there as well as you can up on the top. You see Austin Hahn trying to get on the low side of Jeffrey West here in practice. We got about a minute and a half left in practice before we get green flag race, or actually before we go qualifying here at Fairbury Speedway. Looks like we're going to have 10 cars out on track tonight. So a nice good field here, good size field for this very small dirt oval. Take a look at the racetrack itself. So symmetrically shaped, unlike some of the other dirt tracks we've seen on the service. Not very humid tonight, so we should see this track actually dry and slick off pretty quickly here, as we're already starting to see that a little bit here just in practice. Again, thank you for joining us here tonight on Intensity Broadcasting. Don't forget, like, follow, and subscribe. We've got our doubleheader starting back up tonight with a new league. After this one, we'll have the Extreme Forces Racing League Cup Series here on Intensity Broadcasting, starting at about 9:25 or so. So be sure to tune in for that. See Scott Fritz just coming out onto track, get a couple practice laps in. He hasn't turned a lap yet. And with about 10 seconds to go, you might be able to get one in just to see how the track is running. And there's the checkered flag here in practice, and we're going to get qualifying underway momentarily. It looks like Austin Hahn is the first car to roll out for his first of 2 laps here in this qualifier. And that number 7 Busch Light machine. And you're already hearing him really working the throttle as he tries to get around this tricky, slick track, already slick, just from practice. And first one out, so first one up on the board. So he moves all the way up to that high side, trying to find as much grip as he can up on the cushion. Comes off of turn number 4. That's going to be good enough for second at the moment. Peyton Codwell just ran a 12:58 to take over the pole at the moment. Dale Ward out on track right now. It looks like his best time will be at 12:58 as well, so he's going to slide into second. Len Anderson just coming out on track. Seen major improvements in Len over the last couple weeks. qualifying much better than we'd seen him earlier in the season. So let's see how Len does here on his first of 2 laps. Again, right up against that wall, as we're seeing all the drivers being tonight. Kind of using this lap as a bit of a throwaway lap. Catches the wall just a little bit, so that'll disqualify his time anyways. Gets down to the bottom of the track. First car we've seen in qualifying really try to use that bottom lane, and he comes off of turn number 4. He's going to put himself up into the 5th position. Scott Fritz out on track right now. Starting his first of 2 laps. Oh, catches the wall there off of turn 4, so that's not going to set him a time there. If you make contact with the wall or lose control, it does disqualify your time. So he tends to be a little bit more careful on that lap, and it's going to be moving him up into 4th position. Jeffrey West out on track now. Jeffrey catches the wall too on his first lap. Right on that cushion there, off of turn number 4. Great line there through turns 3 and 4 that way time, across the line. And he's going to move up into the pole. Tyler Berry out on track now. And Tyler Berry jumps up to the pole with a blistering 12:32 to Jeffrey West 12:43. So just over a 10th faster Tyler Berry is on his qualifying attempt. Got one more car out there making a qualifying attempt. That's the 24 of Drew Layton. And Drew having some troubles there on his lap. That looks like that's going to... Well, maybe he is going to get that refired and try to get back out there for at least one more lap. Yeah, looks like that's going to do it for qualifying here. So we got about 5 minutes left before we go green flag racing. Again, we want to thank you for coming out here on Intensity Broadcasting's live coverage of the SESRA Dirt Season 3. Again, we have just 2 races to go. One more after tonight. We're here at Fairbury Speedway tonight. Then next week, we'll move on to Kokomo for 50 laps for our season finale. So be sure to tune in for that, as that will be an exciting one from Kokomo. Awesome little track to watch, and we'll crown both a Western champion and a season champion. So last year's champion was Tyler Berry. Not sure if Tyler is going to be able to repeat here, as Scott Fritz has pretty much dominated the season so far. But we'll see as we come down to the nitty-gritty of the season. Also, don't forget to join us afterwards for the Extreme Forces Racing League, a new league that we have started up tonight. Their Cup Series will be taking off at Daytona tonight for 50 laps, so be sure to tune in for that. We would appreciate you coming out and joining us here, as we have live racing on Intensity Broadcasting starting back up to being 7 nights a week. Tomorrow night we'll have the iOS/SCSRA All-Star Race. The All-Star Shootout is tomorrow night, with the All-Star Race the following Wednesday. Also have the LNS Late Model Series going off tomorrow night. Thursday we have our Thunderstruck Late Model Series. Friday, the Original Rebels Xfinity Series starts back up on the 24th. Saturday, we have the Original Rebels Cup Series, and Sunday, that Original Rebels Truck Doubleheader. So be sure to join us almost every night a week. And then Monday nights, the Extreme Forces Super Stock / Modified Series kicked off last night. So every other night, every other week, they'll be running the Street Stocks or the Tour Mods. So be sure to tune in for that. That was a great race last night. Joe Wright and David Wright had the call on that one. I'll have the call here tonight for the SESRA as well as the Extreme Forces Racing League. And Atlee Atman Weiss will have the call tomorrow for the LNS Late Model Series. And I'll have the call for the All-Star Shootout as Atlee is going to try to race his way into the All-Star race. So be sure to check out that as well. We got about 3 minutes left in practice, or excuse me, in qualifying. It doesn't look like anybody else is going to be able to take a lap. Although with 2 minutes left, there is a time for another driver to sneak his way into the race here. But as we sit right now, it looks like we have 10 cars getting ready to take the green flag here at Fairbury Speedway. It's qualifying about 2 minutes and 30 seconds left before we go green flag racing. We'll have to see if tempers carry over. There's been a little bit of drama between some of the drivers the last couple weeks, and I know a couple drivers not too happy with each other there coming down to the end. A couple races there, so we'll have to see how that plays out tonight. If everybody can play nice. We all know a racer's memory isn't very long. They continue to remember things that happened 2 seasons ago, so we'll have to see if anything boils over tonight or if these guys decide to play nice. Either way, we'll be down for a great race here at Fairbury Speedway. As we got about a minute before we get ready to go green flag racing here for 50 laps here at Fairbury Speedway on iRacing in the SESRA Dirt Late Model Series. It'll be interesting to see if any track grooming is done between sessions. I know in real life it can take up to an hour to groom the track. Here it just takes a couple seconds. So we'll see if they do reset the track to a little bit of a grippier state, or if they race the 50 laps on this very slicked off dirt oval tonight. With about 5 seconds left, we're going to get ready to go back, or get ready to go green flag racing here at this little 1/4 mile dirt track. And let's take a look at our starting grid. And Tyler Berry is your pole sitter, with Jeffrey West in the 5 machine to his outside. Peyton Codwell in the 99, he'll be rolling off 3rd, with Lance Heinberger in the 9 machine rolling off in 4th. Row 3 will find Dale Ward in the 55 with Scott Fritz, with not the greatest of qualifying attempts, sitting back in 6th. Then we'll see Austin Hahn in the 7 with Len Anderson in the 15 rolling off 8th. Then Jason Anderson in the 05 in 9th, and Drew Layton rounding out the field in 10th. As the field forms up here on the front stretch, getting ready to go and take its first of 2 pace laps. Looks like the track is going to continue to be slicked off. We see the dirt there towards the wall, not a whole lot, so not a very large cushion for these guys to have tonight. We'll have to see if Tyler Berry, we see he's fast. We know he's qualified over a 10th faster than Jeffrey West. We'll have to see if Tyler Berry takes the EOL here to start the race. Now this league, if you haven't seen an SESRA race before, the pole sitter has the option of taking an EOL right on the start. You see Tyler Berry pulling down to the bottom, which means he's going to take an EOL, which means for every car he passes, he will get one additional bonus point, plus the points that he accrues for his finishing position. So it's a nice way for these guys to gain a couple extra bonus points. And if you're got that much of a faster car than everybody else, it makes sense to take that EOL. But that's going to move Dale Ward and the 55 up into, the 99 Peyton Caldwell up into the pole position. As the pace truck's pulled off here, we're coming off of turn number 4. Green flag is in the air. We're racing here at Fairbury Speedway, and a bad jump there for our pole sitter. Peyton Caldwell falls all the way back to the 5th position on the start, and Jeffrey West pulls out to the lead with Lance Heinberger and Scott Fritz sitting back in 3rd. So not the best restart. That entire inside line did not get going. That allowed Jeffrey West, Lance Heinberger, and Scott Fritz to get themselves in position. Also, Tyler Berry already up 2 spots from the start, starting to work his way through the field methodically. As you see Tyler Berry down to the bottom, slide job. Oh, makes some contact with Len Anderson, and that's going to check everybody up in the back, as that was a slide job that just did not go the way he wanted to. Up front, Lance Heinberger under attack from Scott Fritz right now. Fritz all over the back bumper of that 9 machine. Scott looks down to the bottom. You see our teammates here as they're trying to get around each other, but Lance Heinberger on the high side able to get the drive off much better. And you're seeing just how slick this track really is. They're having trouble even keeping the car straight going down the straightaways. And while these two have been battling, Jeffrey West has gotten himself over a 1 second lead, almost a 1.5 second lead over the 9 of Heinberger. And Scott Fritz is not letting up here. He is still all over that back bumper, trying to force an error out of the 9 of Lance Heinberger. A little further back, Tyler Berry's trying to make his way back through the field. Currently all over the back bumper of Peyton Caldwell, but Peyton not able. They're not letting Tyler Berry around easy. Tyler's going to look down to the inside, but just not going to have the drive off on that low side to do it. We're really seeing this track becoming a 1-lane track, with the high side being the preferred line. As Tyler Berry throws it in down on the bottom, trying to get that bottom lane working, but right now there's just nothing down there. And he's lost a ton of time. Back up front, Heinberger and Fritz still going at it. Heinberger threw a little defensive line there, ran the lower side. Didn't get the drive off he wanted, and that allowed Fritz to get down below. Now Fritz and Heinberger make some contact. Crossover from the 9. Gets back in front of the 48. Here comes the 55 of Dale Ward as we got one around in the front stretch. Oh, and the 9 of Heinberger is collected. As Jason Anderson around on the front stretch. That's going to bring up our replay here as we see what happens to Jason. Looks like he caught the wall, over jumped the cushion there. Hits the wall hard. Loses it right in front of the field, spins around, and we see Heinberger and Scott Fritz battling side by side, and just nowheres for Heinberger to go. So a lot of damage to that 9 machine here. And for those familiar with iRacing, usually these guys would have a reset, but here in this league, there are no resets. So if you get too much damage, that could end your night prematurely. As the lights on the pace truck are off, we're going to re-rack them, restack them, get ready to refire them here. As the pace truck pulls off on the backstretch. And Jeffrey West was going to lead them back down to the restart zone. Green flag's back in the air. And we're back racing, and Scott Fritz and Heinberger are already going at it. Fritz has got that low line. He's going to try to slide up in front of Heinberger. He's going to do it. Now the 55 of Dale Ward trying to make a move. Oh, the 55 and the 48 have contact there. Oh, one car around. Looks like Austin Hahn around. There are 3 wide, some contact between teammates. Yellow flag is out. That was for the 7 of Austin Hahn. And let's see what happened. See if we can find what happened to Austin Hahn here. Down on the bottom of the 3 wide, just was expecting a little bit more room there, I think, from Peyton Caldwell, and just did not happen. So they make a little bit of contact. He's going to fall back to the end of the field. Doesn't look like he's got too much damage on that machine, so he should be able to continue on without an issue. Tyler Berry still sitting back in the 6th position after taking the EOL and showing so much speed in qualifying. Just not able to find that speed here in the race as the lights on the pace truck are off. Pulls down on the pit road. And Jeffrey West is going to lead him back down to the restart zone. Green flag's back in the air. We're back racing here at Fairbury. And another great jump for our leader as the 55 of Dale Ward is following in those tire tracks. Move him into 2nd place. Oh, some contact in the back. The 99 goes flying, and I believe that's the 24, Drew Layton, up on his roof. Len Anderson trying to get it fired. The yellow flag is back out. We'll take a look to see what happened here with the 24 machine, and we see a little 3 wide action right in front of the 24. And Tyler Berry got loose, came down into the 99 of Peyton Caldwell. Those two make hard contact with the wall. The 24 drives up and underneath the 99. 99 goes airborne. See Len Anderson get involved in that as well. 99 is going to continue on, but the 24 of Drew Layton up on his roof. And he's going to have to take a tow there, and fortunately, that might end his night. Currently have 3 cars in the pits. That's Peyton Caldwell, Drew Layton, and Jason Anderson. So I don't know if those 3 are going to be able to continue. Oh, Len Anderson's back out on... Nope, I take that back. Everybody's out on track. We just have those 3 still in the pits. Green flag's back in the air, and another great jump from Jeffrey West. And already, Tyler Berry making a huge move on Lance Heinberger to try to get himself back in position. Lance Heinberger all the way down to the bottom. See, the 5 of Jeffrey West was just up in the wall. Tyler Berry all the way on the bottom of Scott Fritz. Tyler really making that bottom lane work now. And oh, some contact between him and Scott Fritz. That's going to let Austin Hahn get a run on the high side. I think Tyler's found something on that bottom side. Now he works back up on the high side, trying to get back around the 7 of Austin Hahn. And Tyler's going to do it here. He's going to clear him off of turn number 2. And now he's going to work right back down to the bottom of the track. It looks like he might have found some grip down there. He's going to have to see if that's going to make that work. As we are almost halfway here. Dale Ward now with a mirror full of Jeffrey West. As those two continue to be nose to tail down the front stretch. Just barely running off that wall. You can see just how close those two are getting up to that wall as we take a look at the 55. Pretty much almost touching the wall. And that's going to be the fastest way around this track as we are just past halfway now. 25 laps to go. Tyler Berry just falling off of Scott Fritz now. Scott, oh, big crossover. Jeffrey West made the move, and Dale Ward was able to cross him back over. They're side by side for the lead. Jeffrey West down to the bottom, big slide job, and here comes Dale Ward with a little crossover of his own and a little slide job of his own. And while these two are battling, ooh, some contact there between those two. As these two continue to battle, it's allowed Scott Fritz to catch right up And now move Scott Fritz here into the battle. While that's going on, they're pulling away from the 500 machine of Tyler Berry, who's now almost 3 seconds behind your lead 3. The only thing Tyler Berry could hope for right now is a yellow to try to tighten the field back up. But as we run, Dale Ward, Jeffrey West, Scott Fritz. Scott Fritz down to the bottom, taking a look down to the inside, but not able to make that move work. And he's going to lose a ton of time on the 5 of Jeffrey West. Now Jeffrey West again trying to time that move, trying to get back down to the bottom. See if he can throw another slider on the 55 of Dale Ward. Looks like we're going to be approaching some lap traffic here in just a couple laps. So we got 17 laps to go here. Looks like they're catching the 15 of Len Anderson. Can Jeffrey West use that 15 car as a pick to get around the 55? And oh, they caught the lapper right there in the middle of the corner. We see the 55 go down to the bottom. Some contact between Jeffrey West and Dale Ward. Now Dale Ward down on the bottom, throwing a slide job. They're side by side, not able to clear him. And a big slide job. Here comes Jeffrey West back down to the bottom with a crossover. Dale Ward crosses over again. Now Dale's going to throw it down in on the bottom. Big slide job there. Here comes Jeffrey West back on the bottom himself. While these two are going at it, here comes Scott Fritz into the mix. Oh, some contact. 5 car hard into the wall. Now Scott Fritz down to the bottom. The 55 up in the wall. We have 12 laps to go here. As we see Jason Anderson down on the bottom, staying out of the way. Dale Ward back to the lead. Jeffrey West doing everything he can to try to run him back down. Scott Fritz right there in the mix as well. Scott runs a little lower line there, trying to gain some time here on that 5 machine. As they come down the front stretch, we have just 10 laps to go here to settle it. Dale Ward continues to lead. Jeffrey West now just a little bit quicker as he takes the nose, looks to the inside of the 55. Oh, some contact between those 2 cars again. It looks like Jeffrey West is doing everything he can, trying to use the bumper a little bit to get that 55 out of shape to try to make a move around. As there's almost some more contact between those 2. Big move down to the bottom and a slide job from the 5, but the 55, Dale Ward crossing back over again. Able to keep the lead. Another crossover though from Jeffrey West. Oh, now Jeffrey West squeezes Dale Ward up into the fence, and those 2 make hard contact. It's going to allow Scott Fritz down the bottom. Scott Fritz is going to take the lead. Here comes Dale Ward looking back down to the bottom, trying to throw a slider on Scott Fritz, but Scott Fritz has that preferred high line, and he's trying to get that drive off here. Cross the line, 5 laps to go here. Now way down to the bottom, and a huge slide job from Dale Ward, which does not work out for him. He's going to fall back to 3rd. Jeffrey West now using the bumper to try to get the 48 of Scott Fritz all out of shape. As they come down the backstretch, when we cross the line this time, we'll have just 3 laps to go. Big slide job from the 5 again, but here comes Scott Fritz with the crossover on the bottom, back down to the bottom as they're crouching some more lap traffic. Scott Fritz and the 5 of Jeffrey West side by side as they come off of turn number 4. 2 laps to go. Scott Fritz back down the bottom. A lot of lap traffic involved now as we got a yellow on the track, and it looks like Len Anderson had some issues here. Let's see if we can see what happened to Len here. As he had Austin Hahn right there behind him. Oh, just looks like he over-rotated getting into the corner, and those 2 make contact, and they try to get back going before the leaders come through, but unfortunately just not able to do it. Well, that's going to change everything. That's going to tighten the field back up. We're going to have ourselves a green-white checker with the 5 machine of Jeffrey West going to be your control car, with Scott Fritz going to be on his outside. Dale Ward and Tyler Berry can be back in the mix now, as he's going to be restarting in 4th. Single file restart. Pace car off. Jeffrey West leads them back to the restart zone. Green flag is in the air. A very defensive restart there for the 5 of West, as we got 2 laps to go. A big move from Tyler Berry all the way down to the bottom of the track. Not able to make it work. Now Scott Fritz looking down to the bottom of the track. Tyler Berry alongside, but not able to do it. Scott Fritz down to the bottom. They're side by side with Jeffrey West and Scott Fritz. Off of turn number 2, Scott Fritz is going to throw one more slider in there. Here comes the 55 of Dale Ward as they come off the corner, and he loses it. Jeffrey West is going to be your winner. Scott Fritz is going to come home 2nd. Dale Ward in 3rd. Tyler Berry 4th. Austin Hahn 5th. As the fireworks go off here, and your winner tonight, the 5 of Jeffrey West. As we take a look from the blimp, take a look at our results. Your winner tonight, Jeffrey West. Scott Fritz giving it everything he could, but coming home short in 2nd. Dale Ward, Tyler Berry, and Austin Hahn round out your top 5. Then Lance Heinberger, Len Anderson, Jason Anderson, Drew Layton, and Peyton Cadwell round out the field. But it's all about your winner tonight, Jeffrey West, as we saw some aggressive moves, saw a lot of beating and banging, as we saw the track was really single-laned, and that's all you could really do is try to force the mistake or try to move the guy out from in front of you. As we wait for our top 3 to join me up here in the booth. So an exciting finish here. As Scott Fritz, I thought Scott was actually going to lose 2nd place there coming off of turn number 4, but he was able to hold on to it. It was just a wild mess there coming off of turn number 4. As we take a look, let's take a look at that last lap here. This is the last lap here coming to the white flag. We see Scott Fritz down on the bottom trying to get around. And as they come into turn... Whoa. That was not what I was trying to do. Let's try that again as they take the white flag. And we see coming off of turn number 2, the 55 was hard up into the wall. And Scott Fritz makes a dive bomb there on the 5. With the 55, Dale Ward also trying to make a big move down there on the bottom. See, Scott Fritz does get up into the lead for a second, but the slide job does not pay off. And Jeffrey West comes home your winner. We have our 3rd place finisher up in the booth right now. That is Dale Ward. Let's pull Dale in here. Dale, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Man, what a wild finish there. The 3 of you were going at it for about 25 laps there towards the end. Track seemed to be very single file. It seemed like the only thing you could really do is try to use the bumper to move the person out in front of you. Is that kind of what was going on with the track being as slick as it was?
Oh yeah, that's what happens. It's train racing, but it's part of it. It was up top all night.
Yeah, and as we saw there at the end, we saw the desperation move that you made trying to get down underneath Scott there. Do you think if you had a little bit more time, you might have had something for him, and the green-white checker just didn't work out in your favor?
I don't know. Jeffrey was quick up there. Scott was quick. We was all the top three, top four was even, so there was nothing we could really do there. So we was just kind of holding on for life there.
Well, awesome job, man, coming home third tonight. And anybody you want to thank? Any shout outs you got to give before we let you go?
Well, first off, awesome job to Jeffrey on the win, but Scott with Scott Fritz's Designs, Seabury Motorsports, Dynamic Design, 605 Racing and Tire Solutions, and all that jazz.
Awesome, man. Well, again, anybody else you got, or is that it?
Oh, that's it.
All right, man. Well, awesome job tonight. Again, very entertaining race to watch up here in the booth, and I'm sure it was just as entertaining down there on track, and I'm sure going into the finale next week, you're looking forward to that at Kokomo?
Oh, yeah. Definitely looking forward to that.
Awesome, man. Well, we'll see you next week, and hopefully we'll talk to you again soon.
All right. See you.
So that was your second place finisher, Dale Ward. Let's pull in Scott Fritz here. Scott, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got.
Man, that was a wild finish there. The last 25 laps, the three of you beating and banging. I know the track was real slicked off. That's what Dale was saying. That was just kind of train racing, but you were doing everything you could to try to get that win, and that desperation slide job you did at the end there. I actually thought you lost or fell back to fourth, but you did come home in second there. So how was the race overall from your point of view? Was the track really slick off, and it was really just single file?
Yeah, it was, track didn't change enough almost. It needed to get a little slicker and we'd have been real good. But yeah, it was just hammered down on the top most of the race. And even when it got slick there, those last 3 or 4 laps, the bottom was starting to get there. I tried a couple and I could almost pull even with Jeffrey, but just still top was just fast. Dale and him got to racing really hard, and I was right up on him, but I was just being patient because I didn't want to try and make a move on both of them at the same time and end up taking myself out. So I was being patient. Ended up getting the lead there, and then that caution with 2 to go just killed me.
For sure.
Oh, sorry, Josh.
No, go right ahead. Finish what you were saying.
Yeah, that gave Jeffrey must have had me by the nose of the line. That gave him the spot, and green white checker didn't really have much time to try and do anything. So tried to slide it there in the last corner, and he was just able to cross me up and beat me in the line. But that caution when it came out, I thought we were sitting pretty good.
Yeah, and I noticed at the end there, I saw Tyler trying to run that bottom lane, and it just looked like there was no grip down there. Is that what everybody was trying to do? Trying to make that bottom lane come in, but just never came in?
Yeah, it was starting to get there. The last couple laps, it was almost there. Track, if it was a 100-lap race, the bottom would have definitely been there. There's just not enough time, not enough cars to eat the top up enough. There's still too much momentum up top to make the bottom work at all.
Well, as we move on to Kokomo next week, I'm sure you're looking forward to that track as well.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be a lot like Fairbury. But I mean, it's kind of probably gonna be pretty top dominant in 1 and 2. But 3 and 4, you can move around there pretty much, even with it being heavy. So it'll be interesting.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congrats on the runner-up finish as we wind down the season here. I'm sure next week we'll be talking to you again soon.
Yep. Thank you, Josh.
So that was your second place finisher, Scott Fritz. Let's bring in your winner, Jeffrey West. Jeffrey, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you, man.
Man, that was a wild race. The last 25 laps, you guys were just beating, banging, trying to do everything you could to get around each other, throwing slide jobs back and forth between you and Dale Ward. That would be a blast out there. What was the secret to actually getting around him and staying in front of him?
Well, I mean, I was I knew I was faster than Dale, to be honest. From the, whenever he first got around me, and, it's 50 laps, and I knew it was going to get chaotic at the end and whatnot, so I kind of just wanted to stay up front as long as I could and not end up getting wrecked by one of the T-Berry boys, because they like to do that. Except me and Dale were cool, but, so, I mean, as far as, how I made my move, I mean, I kind of just rode around I think I got back around by like 20 to go or something, but, I mean, it's pretty much top one lane around the whole time, and, so you just really had to try to not spin your tires as much coming out. When it started to slick off a little bit, that was pretty much the only difference that made anything. And that's where I was just a little bit better than him.
Yeah, and that last caution, I'm sure you were not looking forward to that yellow coming out to set up that green-white checker.
No, I was definitely not looking forward to that one at all. I knew Scott was about to throw a Hail Mary there at me. So I would definitely not look forward to that one. But thankfully, I was able to check up just in time. I saw it coming, so I was able to get back on there.
And that's the best way to describe it because Scott did throw that big Hail Mary in there, and so did Dale Ward. But you were able to come home with the victory tonight, so congratulations. And as we wind down the season, how do you like your chances at Kokomo next week?
I feel pretty good about them. Kokomo's not one of my best tracks, but I'm pretty good on the shorter tracks, so hopefully we'll do all right.
Awesome. Before we let you go, anybody you want to shout out? Any thanks you got to give tonight?
Big thank you to Fastline, Peyton, and Tyler, and all of them. They're fun to race with, and big thank you to you for hosting this, and Anderson for putting on the league and everything. It's fun to race with these guys.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congratulations on the win. As we move on to Kokomo next week, I'm sure we'll be talking to you again soon.
I appreciate it, man. Have a good one.
You as well. So that was your winner tonight, Jeffrey West, here in the SESRA Dirt Late Model Series. Again, thank you for joining us here on Intensity Broadcasting. My name's Josh Hall. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe, whether you're watching on YouTube, you're watching on Twitch, you're watching on Facebook. If you're watching on the SESRA Facebook page, go ahead and jump over to Intensity Broadcasting's page. Give us a like. We'd appreciate it over there. And don't forget to join us back here in about an hour as we have a new league starting up here on Intensity, the Extreme Forces Racing League Cup Series. Will be starting their season off tonight at Daytona for 50 laps. So join us for that. Again, my name's Josh Hall with Intensity Broadcasting. We do appreciate you coming out and joining us here tonight. And as our boy Atlee Atman Weiss would say, over and out.